It's a pleasure to stand here and talk to you, and I thank the other speakers who were there in front of me, before me, who actually took you through a lot of the stuff that even I would have covered. But now, what I'm going to do right now is just take you through to understand how social media works, basically, what's it for, and how you as an organization can actually set up policies for you to handle your social media. Now, one of the main reasons we're all sitting here is because communication has evolved. It's no longer your email blasts or your press releases and everything. Communication today has become a lot more visual. Now, if you'll just humor me, can all of you just push your right hand up right now? Right hand. Okay, now just do this. Okay, just move it in front of you. Make a small fist and place it on your nose. Now, if you realize, most of you have actually placed it on your chin just looking at me. You've actually paid more attention to what's visual rather than what you heard. So this is where communication is moving forward. And this is where social media is actually will play a huge role, because you have to have visuals that are attractive, convey the message, and is short and sweet as well. Now, social media, so many platforms out there. What should you be in? What is the use of each platform? I felt that the most easiest way to put this forward, as you can see, I love food. So, best thing would be to explain it through donuts. Now on Facebook, I would say I like donuts. That's what I like doing. Today I would just be like, I ate 3 donuts. Now 3 is an understatement for me, but I ate 3 donuts. If you were on LinkedIn, if you want to talk about donuts, you would say, my skills include eating donuts. Well, on Pinterest you would say, here's a donut recipe. On Groupon you would say, here, 75% discount off your next donut. While Google Plus, unfortunately, you would be a Google employee who likes donuts. Now, social media. The role of social media experts have actually changed. Right now, in order to test a market, you would send out a social media expert to test the waters first. So I'm a huge fan of Star Wars and Star Trek. So if Spock, who was generally the first person to go out and check out something, he would prefer to send his social media expert to find out what the market is, understand what should we do, and then let's proceed forward. So this is where social media would actually play a huge role, especially in the oil and gas industry. Well, and the most important thing, if you don't have your policies in place, you would end up having trouble just like Batman, with Robin checking in every time he comes into the Batcave, and it's no longer a secret. So what would you need to actually set up a policy regarding an internal policy or an external policy with your social media? So one of the most important things is to have an integrated communication approach. You need to find out what channels to use, how to use them, and with what frequency. Now, the mistake most companies do is they decide to walk in and just go ahead, let's create a page, let's create an account, let's create a Twitter handle, and then you're stuck. This meeting I have gone through meetings like this so many times. They want a digital plan, Facebook, YouTube, mobile app, Pinterest, but they have no clue what they're going to do on it. So before you actually enter into the market, it's essential that you understand what your objectives are. Now, once the objectives are set, you have to decide what are the procedures that you're going to follow. And then you always have to have a measurement index. Only then you would realize whether your policies and your structure is actually working, or it's just out there with no effect whatsoever. Now, first aspect would be social goals. What is your goal? I've actually picked up 4 brands which I felt have clear, defined social goals and how they've actually done it quite well. Now, Coca-Cola focuses mainly a lot on promotion. They do it across all platforms. They do a lot of videos, they do a lot of activities, they have a lot of ads. Basically, they have lots of money, they have lots of sponsors, they have lots of endorsers, lots of content, and lots of things to talk about, even though there's just one drink, Coca-Cola. Now, Axe. I believe Axe is one brand that has perfectly targeted the Middle East. Now, if you look at Axe worldwide, they have a very risque, very, mature sort of content that goes out with all their ads, with women chasing men and that sort of stuff. But in the Middle East, if you actually have a look at their Facebook pages, they have turned it around completely. They have managed to understand the sentiments of the Middle East and the region and have all their posts, all their content out there. Now, I personally like Axe a lot because every year on Valentine's Day, they run a campaign wherein you send them your love story and they would actually create a song for you. And I won it this year. So my girlfriend was really happy and now I'm engaged. So this is one of the great things that, a brand that is so in your face manages to turn it around for a region. Now that is something that is equally important for every company. You need to understand what region you're in and then put out your message accordingly. Now, Old Spice, they had a very simple policy. Now, I believe my oldest memory of Old Spice aftershave was my dad. He used to have it on his bathroom, mirror, and he used to use it every day. Over a period of time when I grew up and I started shaving, I didn't see Old Spice anymore. But they came back with a bang a couple of years back. They had this Twitter plus YouTube sort of campaign. They had the new Old Spice guy. His name was Mustafa, and they had the Old Spice guy. That's Fabio. They had this huge battle, scripted battle online, wherein they were actually taunting each other and challenging each other. There were a lot of people who actually tweeted about the ads, and the characters answered the tweets via Twitter as well as via YouTube. So all they did was they were not trying to sell their product, showcasing that they have a new product, and telling the public that, hey, we're back in business, man. We're serious. This resulted in one of the most prolific, YouTube hits in a single day. They had the Mano al Mano El Baño, which means man versus man in the toilet, wherein they actually had the face-off, a very silly face-off between the new Old Spice guy and the old Spice guy. This actually brought Old Spice back into the market and in contention among these consumers. One of our local homegrown products, Just Falafel, they used to have a campaign where they used to have the option of actually picking up franchisees on their social media platform. Interested in picking up a franchisee? You don't have to go through loads of emails and stuff. They had all the options available on Facebook. So basically they used Facebook as business support, and now, as you know, they're spread all over, almost in 3 continents. Now once you have your goals specified, what exactly you want to do, next you move on to your strategic elements. How would you implement it and how would you measure it? Now implementation is not just creating a page, deciding, okay, I will post this and I'll post once on weekends. No. You have to have a creative development team working along with you to decide what is the image or what is the look and feel of your brand online. Apart from that, you need to have a monthly calendar in place where you decide, okay, over the month, I have this activity happening on the 25th. So I need to start planning for it from the 10th onwards. Have a monthly calendar in place. It lets you plan out stuff and it takes away the element of posting haphazardly. You need to have a messaging split where you decide, okay, I'm going to talk about X, Y, Z. I'm going to split it up into a week, and this is all what my brand wants to speak about. Now, always imagine your brand or your Facebook account or your Twitter account as a person. It's always a person who's talking to the public. It's never your brand. So whenever you decide on your personality of your brand online, think of it as a person and what all would this person speak about. Then you need to have offline activations to support it. I have seen that most of the most successful online campaigns always had an offline or a physical element to it that helped push it forward. Now your content matrix, what would you post? Would you post stuff that is specific to oil and gas? Or would you talk about the industry? Would you talk about the region? Would you talk about marine life? Now this is something that a company again has to sit down and decide. Because if you as a brand, if you on the social space decide to speak only about, okay, we have found oil here and we're going to drill here, we've made X number of $1 billion profit, I'm not sure people would actually want to listen to you too much. So you have to mix it up a bit. You have to probably talk about marine life, which you probably have a lot of expertise in, or let's say the global international standards. Talk about the rules and regulations. There are a lot of stuff that as an oil and gas company, or any brand for that matter, can speak about, because that brand is related to a lot of other things as well. Now, this is a small example of a content matrix, how you can actually bring it up. Over here you see they're talking about promotions, awareness, loyalty, sales, and split into 7 posts, 1 per week. So this is how you can actually showcase that you are a very interesting brand, have a lot of things to talk about, and are not concerned with just selling stuff. One of the most powerful statements that I actually use every day when I talk to my clients is, the worst thing you can do is to try to sell online. Never try to sell on social media. Always try to educate the public, get them interested, and that is what is going to result in sales. Now, measurement. How would you actually measure whether your social media strategy is working? One, you have increased acceptance, which is the engagement rate, and people talk about you, there is awareness about you. The fact that you're being heard, the fact that people actually comment on your status, have opinions about what you say, show that you have been heard. You have flexible communications that are integrated with your whole marketing strategy. You have overall measurable results, and you get instant feedback. Now, one of the factors about social media is it's instantaneous. It can get out of hand really quick. So the fact that you need a policy actually is extremely important, because you need to know how to control it from getting out of hand, and in worst case scenario, if it does, how to go ahead and control it. Oh yeah, just pick up this funny slide when someone posts on Facebook, I'm off for a beer, I have nothing else to do, and an hour, 2 hours later, he went from being engaged to single. So that's how fast things can get out of hand on social media. And if we don't have a strict policy in place after you've defined your objectives and defined your goals and defined how you're going to assess and measure it, well, social media is something that can actually hurt your brand really quick. The impact would be something like this. So, in closing, I would say that setting up a policy is extremely important. The facts that you have to keep in mind are what your objectives are, what you plan to achieve, how you plan to go ahead, what personality you want to put up of your brand online, and how that personality is going to speak. And in worst case scenarios, how are you going to handle it? Are you going to accept and apologize, or are you going to deny? These are questions that internally a marketing team, your digital team, your IT team has to come into conclusion with and should be strictly implemented. Thank you.